I like to remind you and remind myself that, you know, while props can be supportive and comfy and really help, we don't really need them. We do have everything that we need within us to support big things and to do these, you know, crazy body transformations, like, you know, experiencing the birth portal. So that being said, I do invite you to explore some of the things that have been like created to make this transition and this like integration into a new space, like making space for this new experience, because essentially, like within transformation, like there's a lot that we're moving through and letting go of in order to make opportunities in the future. So some of my favorite like props and positions to support this experience is get yourself a really supportive like meditation pillow. Mine, you know, looks like this and has like, you know, you could even make it yourself and put rice or buckwheat in that circle, but I like to keep it like you know, just the diameter like of your hip space. So if you can find one, you know, I will, you know, put a link to mine, but it's nice to do that, or you can make one, or you can take like a classic yoga blanket and like fold it to be, you know, just kind of matching up with that hip space. But I really like this prop because you know, when we are kind of trying to get more connected with our pelvic floor and you know, making support systems along our spine in order to kind of grow with this big change that's happening, we can really kind of press and explore the circles around, you know, that pubic bone and, you know, that mirrored space of the sacrum. And if you have like a little lift here, you're really conscious of, you know, no matter your flexibility, you know, and the higher you need to be supported, that's, you know, great, as long as you can find that nice long supported spine. Sometimes I'm really comfortable cross-legged, and I imagine, you know, that can kind of be supported as you grow, but you can also find like that windshield wiper hip space apart here. So yeah, I invite you to get yourself a nice like circular meditation pillow. A few other props that are really useful in the growing space are, you know, get yourself one of these big massage balls, and just like, it has like a pump, so like, pump it up, and in doing so, like, you know, you can find a lot of like exploration within this. This one was like $13 at like Target. You can order them online, or a lot of like cool birthing sites like have options for them. This ball really comes in handy, you know, during labor, and, you know, just kind of like when you need some support throughout your pregnancy, you can really, you know, find, you know, those supportive lunges and have that belly weight kind of propped on this ball. Throughout pregnancy, you can change, you know, that space container. Another thing that I really recommend, that never seemed too important before kind of working with these like mobility shifts, is a good set of blocks. Because the main thing that we're exploring with like a lot of these prenatal poses are how to expand our support potential. So I really like thinking of each like kind of yoga inspired pose as more of like an archetype for a shape, instead of like, you know, achieving like that physical like shape match. Like we're thinking more like, you know, the Empress is like Queen's pose, which like Queen's pose, like you need 2 supportive blocks. This is like my favorite supportive position, by the way. You might find it like in a yoga journal or something as supported fish, because it is like, you know, fish but supported. But I like to call it Queen's pose. But yeah, if you would take like a block the long way, a horizontal block, bolster, nice. I like this like nice lighter, dense bolster. And you can kind of put this here. This is a great supportive position for prenatal posture. And when taking Queen's pose, like on this bolster here that we have kind of at a angle, you can take like a yoga blanket or a pillow and just kind of make a little pillow here, because we don't really want our neck overextended back. But finding the base of your spine here, maybe in windshield wiper or cross-legged windshield wiper here, and coming back to that supported fish. With our elbows and forearms against the floor, you have like that support of the spine as we inhale space and exhale some tension. So make sure you like roll out of Queen's pose when you're there. So anyway, like thinking of that as like an archetype, that pose as more of like, this supported divine feminine body, and how we can most support that, kind of like lean into that experience of Queen's pose, or like cat cow. For instance, we could take cat cow and with like that, nice square bolster, maybe some blocks, find ourselves in like just kind of the supported tabletop. Instead of going to like the floor to inspire kind of like that yogic look, just go ahead and like build that support right away. To kind of take with that, roll through the archetypes. So when we're kind of playing with cat cow with these props, we would extend that spine, and anticipating we're going to be taking up more space here, like really like playing with that as your center, like pulling all that support through the arch, just kind of like letting that support come down. One of the benefits to having available props would be like when your belly starts to get really heavy, you can take some air out of this ball. Here, I'll deflate it a little bit. So it's really easy to just like inflate and deflate. Often, like I'll take this to pregnant friends' houses to just kind of do like a really quick little release or something. So take some air out of there as you grow, and like, just kind of like let your belly come into it there. And like you could even just explore that archetype in cat, like leaning over the ball. I'm continuing to let some air out of this, and then, when we come into cow, just kind of like letting that belly sit on there, or even when you might just want a nice light lean, So anyway, those props are really useful to have. So I would say the one other thing that I think you should find yourself one that you just really connect and like, is like a large-ish like towel or like semi-flexible blanket, because later I can show you some partner type stretches that we can do to kind of take some of that pressure off the belly space, or even like for you as you're kind of trying to, while you grow, also come like into this body and connect through like that unwinding labyrinth of possibilities that's kind of like growing within. Just really like have something that you can cocoon around you during this stage of transformation. So I would say a nice flexible towel, a yoga blanket, some blocks, a set of at least 2 blocks, a nice square pillowed bolster, and my favorite, circular meditation pillow. Yeah, so I hope I inspired your practice today. Thank you so much for sharing a moment with me, and I hope to share again with you soon.